Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's AJ Writes Crypto, and I am super excited to get into this interview that has been coming for quite some time. So, a lot of you watching this video right now, we're all investors trying to chase the dream, trying to, make it in investing. It's not an easy thing to do. This man, Shibtoshi, who, wears a mask, you might see him at conferences with like 6 security guards. This is a guy who has accomplished that dream and could be on a beach in Belize, but he's not. Now he's building his own project with his success. But Shibtoshi, first of all, thanks so much for being here. And let's start at the beginning. Like, just give me like the quick breakdown on getting into crypto and like making it in ways other people could only dream.
Hey AJ, thank you for having me. Happy to be here. So those that don't know, I'm Shibtoshi. I got into crypto in 2011. I was introduced to Bitcoin on the poker tables in Vegas for an online poker game. Knew absolutely nothing about it. Previously heard about Bitcoin in 10, didn't do any due diligence on it, so I could just kind of wrote it off as like something illegal. In 2011, it was introduced to me after doing some light deep diving into it. I decided to take the plunge into crypto and bought my first chunk of Bitcoin OTC from a buddy of mine.
Nice.
And when I got home from Vegas, I read the white paper and I just felt like it was everything that we needed stemming from the 2008 crashes with the economy. And slowly but surely started accumulating my position. Obviously, at that time, the use case for me was online poker games, as I'm an avid poker player. And
Me too.
No shit. Yeah. Well, I've made and lost quite a bit of money on the poker tables, man. It's always a good time though.
Yeah. I always say that like playing poker gets people ready for the roller coaster of trading. Because like if you
This is true.
You get used to, oh, I'm up 10,000, oh, I'm down 20,000, oh, I'm up 50,000. You get used to that, that fluctuation, and I think that hardens traders.
It definitely desensitizes everybody. I think a little more. Like you said, it kind of eases everybody into it.
Yep.
But got my start with Bitcoin. My next investments were Namecoin and Litecoin, and I kind of segued from there. Most notably, I'm known for my Shiba Inu investments. I invested into Shiba Inu August 1st of 2020. About 5 hours after launch, I started dollar cost averaging into that. Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, it was brought to me by a buddy. It took me a little time to pull the trigger, but over the course of a couple of days, I put 37 Ethereum into it, and essentially bought the top. Watched it fall all the way down to where everybody was saying it was dead, and it just kind of traded sideways for months. And then obviously months later, they started having some movement, some new life. Shibtoshi shot a tweet to Elon Musk and asked him, how much SHIB do you own? Elon responded something to the extent of none. And it was like the equivalent of him saying, I'm about to ape $1 billion. Like it just fucking ran and just continued to run. But I held that bag all the way to the top. I still hold it to this day. I've been avidly breaking my wallets up. I hold about all of my Shiba Inu across 185 wallets. I hold 101 trillion tokens. And those that haven't figured it out at this point, I am the so-called Shiba Inu whale that everybody was talking about. Wendy has done numerous videos over me, and that's actually how I got into contact with Crypto Wendy. Actually, I saw her TikTok video talking about my wallets.
That's a lot of seed phrases, bro. That's a lot of seed phrases. So armchair.
I've got a particular method that I use, and I won't get into that, but it's pretty easy. For the most part. But, kind of the journey for me in crypto was, like so many people, I was reluctant. So as hard as I tried to get my friends and family to jump into crypto, especially Bitcoin sub $100, nobody believed in it. And as time went on and, everybody around me starts seeing my life change, because the misconception is, I did not pull billions of dollars out of Shiba Inu, although my portfolio is worth that. There was not enough liquidity. My wealth comes from Bitcoin.
Sure.
And, trying to get my friends and family into that, around the time that everybody saw my life change, they started taking interest in cryptocurrency. and they started dabbling into it and finding every scam and rug that they possibly could out there,
Yeah.
unintentionally. And it came a point in time that somebody very close to me lost $80,000 that he really couldn't afford to lose.
Yeah.
And it was in 2021, that my friends closest to me started talking to me about doing my own project. And I had zero interest in it at all. I'm just a trader. I'm not a developer. I know nothing about this stuff.
So really quick, before we get into, SquidGrow and what you're doing, I do just want to touch on, for the traders out there. I mean, obviously you're an example of someone who got in very early, which is an advantage that a lot of people don't have. And, you were in on the ground floor on Shiba Inu, but that doesn't mean that you don't have talent in terms of being an investor. You beat a lot of people to the punch. So just a quick piece of advice for traders out there that are trying to get to their first million or trying to get to their first six figures. Even what would you tell them?
I would just say the common thing, without risk, there's no reward,
Exactly.
right?
Okay.
You have to take a chance. And obviously, when you're investing or accumulating positions, you do it within your means. Don't gamble with your mortgage money, same as you would at the casinos.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't follow that advice, but you invest amounts that you can afford to lose. If you can't blow it at the bar, at the club, throw it in the fire, live without it, don't do it.
Right.
So
Fair.
just invest within your means. And so you're not like pulling your hair out,
Yeah.
I mean, crypto is very volatile. Nobody knows. Nobody has a crystal ball.
Right.
So, you just got to take a chance though. With great risk comes great reward.
Yep.
And,
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean, I can attest to that firsthand. So,
Yep, 100%, and that is a really common answer you see from people who have quote made it. You have to be at some point in time. You need to be willing to roll the dice and saying, what, this is really going to work or it's really not going to work. And obviously, you still want to have an edge on a market. You still want to educate yourself. You want to be aware of what you're investing, use risk management, all the things like that. So, like I said, you've done very, very well. I don't know, the number you've made, but I've heard it's an exorbitant number. And first of all, congratulations on that success. But like I said in the intro here, you could be on a beach in Belize drinking a margarita with your feet in the sand, but you decided to not do that, and you decided to give back to this community that created Shibtoshi. So kind of break down on like what SquidGrow is and what your intentions are with the project.
yeah, real quick before I pivot into that. So,
Sure.
as I was saying, my friends started talking, twisting my arm, so to speak, to launch a project to give my friends and family a safe place to invest their money. And that's what it was all about to begin with.
Got it.
Launching something that was safe for my friends and family, to get their feet wet, so to speak, in the crypto markets. Obviously, in the beginning days, I did not know my community, but now that has kind of expanded to everybody in my community. So the ideas behind SquidGrow was to provide everybody a safe place to invest their money and become a holder. And we had very early ambitions to start developing utilities, which we have done. So I understand the importance of the meme culture in the crypto space, but
Yep.
also the importance of having a use case as well. There's got to be more substance to something than just a memeable logo.
Yep.
And for me, in my opinion, that's utilities. So, we came out the gate, with the ambitions of developing utilities. We launched in June of 2022. So, bear market, not an ideal time for a lot of
Yeah.
projects,
I was
but
about
we
to say that's
wanted,
a hell of a time to
well,
launch a project.
the idea behind that was, we launch, we weather the bear, but during the bear, we do our building. So when the
Right.
bull is here,
Exactly.
we've already built all our utilities. We have our community. So we kind of, took the hard route, like instead of just launching, bear or bull market, we decided to take the downtime, so to speak, to build our utilities.
Yep.
And I prize myself in offering my community a safe and secure place to become a community member.
Sure.
And we have 17 Surtech audits currently and 2 hack-in audits. So
Wow.
everything that we build before we put anything out to the community, we make sure that it's safe and secure. That's important. Obviously, I'm anonymous in the space, and I have to protect all my loved ones. Safety. Obviously, in crypto, you're your own bank. So when people have the idea that you're walking around with your phone that's just got millions and billions of dollars in it, they see you as a mark.
Yeah,
And you have to protect your loved ones. You have to protect yourself.
sure.
So, I opted to remain anonymous. But, SquidGrow, as I call it, is the center of our ecosystem. So we're building out all these utilities. We have an NFT marketplace, NFTs by Mike S. Miller from DC Comics, Game of Thrones, and
Oh,
Marvel.
wow. I met him. He's really cool.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
I
he's a
met him
cool ass guy.
at
Um,
in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's a very solid guy.
Yeah.
We have some other utilities. Knox Locker, it's a liquidity locker. We're building SGX, which is a decentralized perpetual exchange. But I think the crown jewel of our utilities is SilentSwap, and that's our latest and greatest. We just got a perfect score with Hackin of 10 with them, and also a
Wow.
Certec audit as well. And that's what we're gearing up to drop here very soon.
Wow.
And SilentSwap, while I've been in the space, I've realized people track big wallets. And as a result of tracking big wallets, they oftentimes find loved ones or internal wallets or people that you just interact with. And then there's the dusting aspect of it. People just like to track you down. So I wanted to come out with something that allowed people to move crypto assets around anonymously, but in a manner that allowed you to remain in full custody of your assets. So we developed SilentSwap. It is a privacy cross-chain aggregator that is decentralized, trustless, and non-custodial.
Nice.
And there's a saying in crypto when talking about crypto exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto. This is very true.
Yeah.
I've held money on several exchanges that went belly up, and you just lose your funds because you actually don't own those funds when they're on the platform.
Yeah.
SilentSwap allows you to maintain complete control of your assets every step of the way, and what that means is we never take possession of your funds, or a third party never takes possession of your funds. You maintain direct control by signing the wallet transactions every step of the way. It's actually a pretty cool thing. And
Wow.
to my knowledge, it has never been done before. That's why we go on to say it's a first mover. There are privacy cross-chain aggregators that are out there that utilize APIs from exchanges,
Hmm.
but that's giving a third party, somebody you don't know, access to your crypto.
Wow.
And
So, like, what would be like the difference between like SilentSwap or something like Railgun or Tornado Cash? It's not the same. It's not a mixer, right?
No, and I'm glad you said that. So
Yeah.
Tornado Cash, for example, is a mixer, right? It's a smart
Yeah.
contract. Okay, so for example, let's say we're mining Ethereum, right? We're earning Ethereum, and we have 2 ETH that we've earned, and we decide to send it through Tornado Cash. Your 2 ETH goes into the contract. My 2 ETH goes into the contract. And now let's say there's a bad actor that either hacked or is doing something malicious or illegal, and he sends 2 ETH into Tornado's contract. All of our Ethereum is now mixed together with this tainted Ethereum. And just by interaction with that, although our Ethereum is clean, it has just tainted the whole pot
Right.
of cryptocurrency. So it's mixing it together. And then obviously when you withdraw that, from that contract, obviously it spits it out, but we get bits and bobs of, somebody else's crypto. That would be a mixer.
Yeah.
With SilentSwap, your assets do not mix with anybody else's. We use a series of cross-chain bridges. Secret Network is our privacy layer.
Right.
We're partnered with them. There are our official cross-chain aggregator of Secret Network, but we're using a bunch of bridges into Secret that gives the privacy layer there. There is no mixing or obfuscation,
Right.
in a manner that is tainting your cryptocurrency.
But it's still done privately, which is the important
It's done privately, yes. So once your assets get onto the Secret Network, they are a privacy chain. So it becomes very hard, if not impossible, to track the output address on that. So it allows you to move your cryptocurrency around from wallet to wallet. Another thing with SilentSwap is most privacy cross-chain aggregators only allow you to move assets from wallet A to wallet B.
Right.
On our platform, you can say, I use this example a lot. Let's say you have $16,000 in wallet A. On our platform, you can take that $16,000 up and split it to 16 different wallets, 16 different blockchains, 16 different assets. So let's say you're about to ape into 16 different new projects on different blockchains, and you want to fund those wallets in a single platform. You have the ability to do that on SilentSwap. You can just shoot your assets wherever you want, very easily. It's an easy to use platform, and it's just kind of something that we decided that we wanted to incorporate in there to just make it a little more user friendly.
And I'm all for that. You know what I mean? I've done like short partnerships with privacy layers in the past, and I 100% believe in like that original crypto Bitcoin ethos of privacy and decentralization. And if there's not means of privacy, like what's the point? You know what I mean? And I'm completely for it. And I think that is certainly a utility that's going to add a lot of value to SquidGrow as you guys continue on that path as well. So
yeah, and on that real quick, so if everybody's wondering how these utilities benefit my ecosystem, percentages of all revenue that are generated on our utilities go back into our chart in the form of a buyback or liquidity injection. So that is adding value to our community. And I will just say, on the note of privacy, you wouldn't want your Venmo or Zelle transactions publicly known to the world. So why should your crypto transactions be public for all to see?
Yeah.
It's not that, anybody in the space is doing anything illegal, but there's a certain level of privacy that we should have. It's a right.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
Like you said,
that's why,
is so public. Yeah.
And like you want to protect your loved ones. You don't want to become a mark. And if you're walking around with your net worth above your head, you could be putting yourself in a precarious situation. And what's more important, like your own safety or transparency? And that's a line that you have to draw in the sand somewhere, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool, man. Well, dude, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out on the channel. I'd love to have you back on, once there's ever some new developments down the street. Maybe I'll have you come on the live stream sometime. That'd be cool. I'm sure I'll see you at one of the events here coming up soon. I know we always run into each other. Always good to see you, man. But dude, thanks so much for coming on the channel. Where can my audience find you?
Yeah, so they can find me on Twitter. I am at Shibtoshi_SG, and my project SquidGrow is at Squid_Grow. And if you want some more information on SilentSwap on X, it is at SilentSwapCo.
Cool.
And the website is silentswap.com. So yeah,
awesome. I'll put all those links down below.
Out.
Yeah, I'll put all those links down below in the description so people can check it out. Dude, thanks for coming on. My name's AJ Writes Crypto. Everybody, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My name's AJ Writes Crypto. Get rich or get wrecked. Have a safe rest of your day. Later. Bless.